Okay. My name is Cameron. My speech is on the continuation of winter sports in spite of the coronavirus pandemic. I used to be basketball teammates in high school with Chandler Vaudrin. He ended up going to Division II Walsh University and playing for 2 years, and decided that he wanted to pursue his ultimate dream of playing Division I basketball and making his way into the NCAA March Madness tournament. After transferring to Winthrop and sitting out 1 year, this year he led Winthrop to win their conference title and an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. That was until the worldwide coronavirus pandemic made its way to the U.S., shutting down the country and halting all sporting events. While going over this topic, I've compiled information, quotes, and stories from athletes and coaches that were directly affected by this, as well as national headlines that are trying to predict when this pandemic can be contained and the starting steps we are taking to start the reopen process to continue sports. The high school and NCAA athletes of sports that were canceled due to COVID-19 should be able to resume those sports once it is deemed contained enough to play, because of the revenue loss from schools due to the largest tournament of the year, as well as the competitive spirit of the athletes to not be left unsure of what their final team's outcome could be. The COVID-19 pandemic has entirely swept the nation and has closed down a vast majority of businesses and large group activities. As for sports, it started on March 11th, where the NCAA and the individual conferences of basketball, the basketball tournaments, were starting to get canceled one by one, going into March 12th, which then led to the National Basketball Association being postponed that night, and then all other major professional leagues followed suit after that, according to a timeline from CBS Sports. Since March 11th, most states have issued a stay-home order along with a national social distancing policy to stop the spread of the virus. It's also halted extra activities outside of people's houses, including sporting events. And with this virus, those student athletes that have already played 90% of their season and some of their postseason are now left with an empty feeling and not knowing how their season could have potentially ended. For some of those athletes, they were in the middle of their national tournament, such as Devontae Friga, a Division III basketball player at the University of Mount Union, who also vlogs his life on YouTube, shared his initial thoughts and reactions on the video in a video titled My College Basketball Career is Over. As well as Friga being in the National 16 level, Division I had starting and finishing some of their conference tournaments, and at the high school level, they were at the regional level, meaning the top 8 in the state. The student athletes who have trained and worked their lives to lead up to this moment, to have their one shining moment taken away from them due to this pandemic, should be able to have a shot. If there isn't a way to resolve it, life goes on in the end. In a quote from Anthony Grant, head basketball coach at Dayton University, quote, "Our job is to try and help them see the bigger picture. It's very hard today, it was very hard yesterday, but we're really confident that in time, as they go through more things in life, they will look back and understand this moment, and that sometimes this is what happens in life. You've just got to adjust and figure it out." Along with this, according to an article in ESPN, the NCAA has allowed spring athletes who had barely started their season an extra year of eligibility, while not granting that to those winter athletes that have almost finished their season. So even though it's been declared that they've been canceled, there should be another solution for those winter sports that are already 90% done with their seasons. High schools and the NCAA should find a way to make those winter sports finish sometime during the summer. The few main reasons should be that high school and college competitiveness would be at an all-time high with that, and that with that competitiveness, it'll make them feel at peace when their season ends instead of abruptly ending without an end result. But the simple act of letting the players play and let things play out is a lot more difficult than it is. But for the amount of time, energy, and hard work they have put in during the season, they deserve to see that final outcome, as well as for the fans to be able to enjoy that. In an article called Time Out by Sports Illustrated's L. John Wortham, he's quoted saying, "But even with athletes sidelined and leagues suspended until further notice, sports can play a crucial role. And it's one that ultimately is likely to end up being more meaningful than providing a few hours diversion." In order to make this happen, there will have to be a lack of human interaction due to the spread of the virus, but it will lead to happy athletes, fans, and telemarketers, as the athletes will get to finish out their seasons and know the outcome. Fans will get some entertainment to watch while in quarantine, and also will help the marketers during those games get their ads out, as well as local food businesses being able to stay open and feed those that are watching. Because of this COVID-19 pandemic, winter sports were forced to drop their end-of-season tournaments and not know the final outcome of their season would be. I believe there should be a way for them to finish out their respective seasons once health officials deem it safe for their own personal one as athletes and for the fan to get some positive entertainment during this weird time in quarantine. So I hope for Chandler and Devontae that they are able to get their one shining moment, as it's hard to see from another athlete to another athlete, to see their hard work and dedication to get to the top, for it all to go to waste over something that is not in their control. I hope that there's a way that they are able to finish out their seasons. Thank you.